Back to follow-up segment tonight. We have been following the money to Haiti after that terrible earthquake that hit a year ago. So far, the United States has donated more than $2 billion in relief aid. The rest of the world has pledged more than $10 billion. But once again, once the money reaches Haiti, I should say, things get murky, as more than 10% of the population is still living in the streets. As you may know, Presidents Clinton and Bush asked us to give money, and I asked Mr. Bush about that.
You're right. It's very difficult, and the government needs to have a strategy, and the United Nations needs to say to the government, develop a strategy so that the rest of us can feel comfortable about positive developments.
But there have been few positive developments. Thus, the question becomes, were we chumps for giving our money to a largely corrupt nation? Joining us now from Philadelphia, Dr. Larry Chapp, who teaches theology at DeSales University. And from Washington, former Assistant to Vice President Cheney for National Security Affairs, Stephen Yates. Mr. Yates, we'll begin with you because when the appeals were made last year, you said, hey, probably not going to do any good. So are we chumps?
I think we're chumps, or worse than chumps, if we continue to give assistance absent any reform. Essentially, the misery of the Haitian people is not the result of American action or inaction. It's the result of endemic, tragic corruption. And it's really a cycle that's much bigger than this recent round of donations. It's been going on for decades. President Clinton, Bush, and now Obama have all intervened in Haiti. And really, sadly, just before this earthquake occurred, Haiti's economy was roughly comparable to what it was in 1990, 20 years prior, after having received billions and billions of dollars of assistance.
All right,
so I think it's actually not compassionate to give in those circumstances.
Let me ask you something. President Bush doesn't have any solutions. He doesn't know where the money went. Okay? He doesn't know. He went on the air with President Clinton and he asked us to give money and he doesn't know where it went. President Clinton won't even talk to us about it. Won't even, you asked him time and time again, you're the leader of this thing, President Clinton, please come on. So neither man knows, I think, where the money went. Do they have any responsibility because they asked for the money? Do these men have responsibility to use their power to cut through the corruption, at least find out where the money went?
I think they do have a responsibility, but I think also that their power is going to meet with limits. I mean, this is endemic corruption.
But what if they did exactly what they did to raise the money, Mr. Yates? Go on TV and demand answers. I think that would shake it up, wouldn't it?
I would support something like that. I mean, it's very, very critical that the government in Haiti change. We've had many leaders change over, but the people continue to suffer under the same corrupt system. And it's going to take enormous effort to change that. Right. Correct. No building of houses will change that.
Dr. Chapp, from our reporting, we know that the Red Cross feeds and gives water to the people in tents. So whatever the Red Cross is getting is going to the folks. I give money to the Haitian Health Foundation, which is run by an American up in Jeremy, and I know my money goes to help children up there who have very, very tough health issues. However, I will tell you, Dr. Chapp, most of the money, that Americans are sending is being stolen. So, should we continue to send it?
Yes, I think we should continue to send it because the United States, as a broad imperial power, one of the things that differentiates us and has always differentiated us as an imperial power down through our history is we've had this very generous streak within us. And I think it would be a shame if we decided that every single time we came across an impoverished nation that had an inefficient and corrupt government, that we were no longer going to help them. We would be abandoning a very cherished American tradition.
But
now, let me finish.
Wait, Doctor, but let's deal with, I don't want to deal with other nations. I want to deal with this nation. Both Mr. Yates and myself went on the air a year ago and said no matter how much money we send over there, it's going to be stolen. And that exactly happened. So you're telling me that I should continue to send money over there privately and President Obama should continue to pledge tax dollars over there? It just, I mean, it's like giving donations to a heroin addict. All right? Well, it ain't going to help their kids. It ain't going to help them. They're going to use the money to get high.
Well, absent serious reform, I would be a fool to gainsay the fact that there needs to be serious reform in the level of government and these sorts of things. But we're talking about the United States of America. Are you seriously telling me that we do not have the power as a nation to force positive change on this country?
Apparently not. Apparently we don't, because Mr. Yates just cited the stat that says that. For 20 years, we pumped billions of dollars into that, plus our armed forces, plus the president's initiative, and the economy is just as bad as it was. It's worse than it was 20 years ago, Doctor.
And for 10 years, we've spent $1 trillion nation building in Afghanistan and Iraq.
You don't point to bad behavior to justify other behavior.
No, but my point is that we are not talking about pulling our troops out of those areas, even though we are running up against the same sorts of endemic problems, the same sorts of
It's true the corruption problem in Afghanistan hampers us, but there's an actual security problem there.
Right.
I don't know. Look, Doctor, you're a good man. And people who give money are good people. But to me, you're just throwing it away. Mr. Yates, I'm going to give you the last word.
Well, I think it's just not compassionate to leave people trapped in this cycle of corruption and violence. And so I think we have to press for a dramatic change. It's going to take the United Nations doing more than having press conferences. It's going to take all of our governments.
The United Nations couldn't care less. I think Clinton and Bush got to do it. I think those guys got to do it. All right? Because I think they're the only ones that could. All right, gentlemen, thanks very much.